To my channel. In today's video, I will be reviewing the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. So I'm in the shade Beige, and I'm just gonna tie up my hair and we will get straight into this video. Okay, so this is what the packaging looks like. It is a glass bottle with a pump, which is my favorite kind of packaging for a foundation. Now I took the shade Beige, which has a very nice yellow undertone. I'm just gonna swatch it for you on the side of my face so you can see what beige looks like. And what I am gonna do is take another foundation. So this is my MAC Studio Fix in the shade NC40. Now NC40 is my absolute perfect shade, and I'm going to swatch it next to this foundation. So as you can see, this has a very yellow undertone. And then for a third foundation, I'm just going to show you what the Fenty Beauty foundation shade 290 looks like. Now this foundation is a little bit light for me, so you can see the difference. So this is my MAC NC40, which is the perfect shade. This is Fenty Beauty, which is just a little bit lighter, and this is the NYX foundation in the shade Beige. Now I've tried this foundation the entire week, and I found that the best way to apply it is with a flat top kabuki brush. You do get the fullest coverage with it, and then to go over it with a damp beauty sponge or beauty blender. Now I do this for all my foundations. I find that the kabuki brush always gives you the fullest coverage, and when you use the sponge over it, you just absorb any excess product that you have on your skin. So I'm gonna start by shaking the foundation and just applying one pump onto my brush. Now this foundation is a buildable coverage foundation, so I'm going to see if I need more, and I can put another pump over this once I'm done blending out the first pump. So this is just one pump of foundation on my entire skin. I'm using my damp beauty blender. Well, this is the Switch Beauty Squishy, and I'm just pouncing it over my skin, just making sure that this foundation has no streak. And this is how one layer of foundation looks. I am gonna go over with maybe like half a pump more, just to cover up a little bit more on my skin, because I do want a very full coverage foundation. I'm just going in with the slightest bit, and I'm just placing it on the areas where I need a little bit more coverage. And there you have it, foundation all blended out. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a lighter concealer. This is the shade Beige by NYX as well, and I'm gonna highlight under my eyes and the center of my face just a little bit, just so that the yellowness blends in a little bit better. I'm also gonna finish off my face, and I will be back to show you the final look. Alright guys, so I just finished off my makeup, and I just went for a simple look. I contoured, highlighted, all that jazz, and you can see I have this foundation on for about an hour now, and it really has settled into my skin. You can see the color from my skin, my face to my neck, and it looks really pretty. So this foundation says it will last 24 hours. I definitely did not try that, because I wash my face every single night after work and before bed. But I have used this from 6 in the morning till 10 at night, and I promise you, at 6 in the morning it looks this way, at 10 at night it still looks this way. So I have extremely dry skin. I do use my Kiki Beauty primer, and I do use a lot of hydrating setting sprays on my skin, but usually matte foundations dry out my skin even more, whereas this foundation didn't, which is amazing. So I use the same primer and setting spray that I would on my other foundations, and it doesn't dry out my skin at all. But then on the flip side, you have my sister who has oily skin, and I made her try out this foundation as well from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and even though she has oily skin, her skin stayed matte with this foundation, which was amazing. And she also didn't lose any coverage, because foundation generally on drier skin will either crack if you don't have the right primer, but if you have primed properly and you have setting spray, it should last you longer than someone that has oily skin, because when you have oily skin, the oils make the foundation drip off and slip off and just separate and break down. But this foundation didn't do that, which I'm really impressed with. So I think you can definitely use this if you have oily skin, if you have dry skin, if you have combination skin. It is amazing. I also tried out this foundation yesterday without a primer and without a setting spray. Generally, I would never do foundation if I don't have a primer or setting spray, because even if I have a setting spray, I can use it as a primer. But unfortunately, I was late for work, so I packed my makeup into a little bag and I did my makeup in the car, and I forgot a primer and a setting spray because I packed the bag in like 2 minutes. And I decided, let me just try the foundation out, because I needed to see how it would work without primer and setting spray, and it was just as beautiful. So the only thing I can say is that my primer does fill in my pores, whereas without the primer, the foundation did go into my pores, but it lasted the entire day as well. So I'm really happy with the coverage. I think that it is a very buildable coverage, so you can put a layer of foundation on and a layer on top of that and it won't look cakey. It is not super lightweight. You can feel like you have foundation on, but it's not really cakey and bad. And lastly, I really like the price of this foundation. So it is 260 Rand, but I can compare it to a very high-end Fenty Beauty sort of formula and foundation. So 260 Rand is a steal for this kind of coverage and quality that you're getting. I did, however, pick it up on Black Friday when NYX had a 50% off special, and I got it for 130 Rand. So I wish I bought more, if only I knew how good it is. As for the color range, there is a wide color range in store. You can definitely find your shade, and I also like how they have very different undertones in their shade selection. So as you saw when I applied this in the beginning, this was a very yellow sort of coverage, like yellow undertone, which worked so well with my skin. Like, I've never had a foundation look this pretty, actually. So yeah, that is my thoughts. I think this is a great summer foundation. Very rarely do I love a new foundation as much as I do this. I bought it last week for Black Friday, and I used it the entire week for work in different ways, just testing it out and seeing if anything happens that I don't like. And I really don't have anything bad to say about this foundation. So guys, this is the end of the video. If you try this foundation, let me know down below what kind of skin you have, if it's dry or oily, and how it worked on you. I am so impressed with it. I totally love it, and I hope that you also have a good experience with it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until I meet again, bye!